Hello, I'm Patricia McNeilly from Twin Flame Body. I am a Blu-ray Twin Flame from Chicago, Illinois. And in this video, I want to talk to you about some things that are coming up here. Now, granted, I don't think that anyone's, abilities or gifts could have predicted a lot of this on the scale that it's happening. And I sincerely hope that people are well and doing well. Now, some of the really good things that I've noticed is the really short amount of time it has taken for areas of the earth to just start to get cleaned up. I think that's very notable, and a lot of people are commenting on it and noticing it in their own neighborhoods, in their own areas, in their cities. Here in Chicago, the air has cleared where you can actually smell some of the scents that are in the air that are, covered up with other fumes of some type. So, what are some of the other things that are happening here? The body is taking priority. Now, that is something that I've known about, and it's something that has been the impetus of my videos since I started in 2014 doing videos. Prior to that, I did body work. And, if I look back on parts of my own awakening, I thought to myself, my goodness, if we could just zap some people and give them an awakening and they started to let go of things, wow, that would just be amazing. So I knew at some point that, this would start happening for more people. However, little could I have known that, it would play out the way it does. And yet, in 2015, as I went through a series of inflammations, illness in different sections of my body, I knew that inflammation is part of the way that you burn off things from the past. Not everyone likes to get sick. Who does? And yet, if you had the ability to properly go through your ascension stuff easily and methodically with a plan, would you? Or would you continue being tumbled about in the washing machine? And furthermore, while we do understand this as twin flames, that there's two people involved, much of the world does not understand how the template is actually held together by two people who have a matching vibration. So we're paving the way for a lot of spiritual relationships, and not just spiritual relationships, soul family, learning to get along, and not just learning to get along or somehow making it work, but a true, genuine getting along with true harmony and affection. So many people are going to go through tons of emotions with this. And certainly they're entitled to their emotions because honestly, there's nowhere to store it up anymore. It doesn't matter if you follow a fearmonger who sits there and says things about this whole thing, or if you get on board and decide to cheer everybody else up, you're still going to feel it. Doesn't matter because we are in one big gigantic hermit mode here. That's what I call it. That's what I've called it for years. Putting yourself in hermit mode. You're forced to get still. You're forced to stay put. And I'm going to share with you some of my guidance because I think it'll shed some light on what, how some of this is actually occurring and playing out. Now, we've known for a long time that there are just hundreds of people waiting for their other half. Well, guess what? This is a wake up, but it's not the wake up like you would think it is. It's an internal to the external. It is waking people up from inside by using their cosmic connections. So you may hear this called things like the Equinox Cosmic Gateway, the Equinox Galactic Gateway, the I've even heard the galactic virus, which honestly, I don't know how people dream this stuff up, but it's not something from outer space. The way that this is behaving is, yes, it is winnowing some people, and it is doing something that is eliminating something. So if someone is healthy and they're healthy enough to embody the brand new template, the brand new twin flame body template of relationship, they're going to do well with it. But it's getting through these first steps that actually is huge. Now, if someone is too ill, and this was my guidance because I have people in my family I'm concerned about. This is not really it's hit pretty close to home. And it's, something that I think everyone is highly concerned, to say the least, about this. Do your part and protect yourself and be sensible. I had a guide who has always said to me, this is from years ago, before I was really able to connect with my higher self. You all have spirit guides, right? But use the sense that God gave a goose. And sometimes that's true. We tend to lose our minds when something happens. And we see things like, hey, my retirement fund just plummeted. Or I heard there's all these things happening. What does that translate as? How is it going to affect me or my family? Now, if we're all sensible, this reminds me of the scene in It's a Wonderful Life, where there's, George, he's about to go on his honeymoon. George Bailey, he's just gotten married to Mary. And all of a sudden, everyone's in a panic because of what they've heard. And it's real. It's not that they made it up or their heads made it up. But he comes in and he talks sense to them and he says, you know what? You're invested in this guy's thing and you're invested in there and you're invested in there. Now, this is different because all of the investing you've done in other people, even as an angelic, at the angelic level, not just at the human level, you're all tangled up with people. They've got your energy, you've got theirs. It's all tangled up in your orgasms. It's all tangled up right here. And naturally, this is going to cause a lot to stir up over here. The body's going to flame it away and use the element of fire to get this out. This is a part of your nervous system as well. And you need to be able to sense. Now, what happens if people have had other things happen? And this is why people who are too ill or already have some impairment, whether it's genetic, whether it's because they're older and they cannot have the strong enough tissues to click and embody, what do? Many times they will pass over because they have the ability to come back. Now, some of my guidance has also been a big push on me to get certain things ready, to have materials ready, to have books ready about the subtle bodies, about your more than 7 chakras. Do you know how to open your 8th chakra? Do you know how to open your 8th through 12th chakra? I know how to help you with that. And these are important because you will be much more influenced by cosmic influences and the cosmic past. What has happened? What has had to happen? How did we get here? Even things like xenophobia, where people are afraid of foreigners coming into their country. Sometimes we call them immigrants, sometimes we just call them strangers, sometimes we call them foreigners. But how has this happened? Because everyone's been invited here. In many ways, many people are not indigenous to Earth and they feel it. They feel like, I'm not from here, I don't belong here. But does that mean we push them out or exclude them? This is where the invitation is. This is where the gateway is. And the Earth is a little bit of a healing center. It's a little bit of a, place to get off your garbage. And it's a place to recover. And this is the place to integrate and match up again with the person who loves you. Now, there are other sections besides the lungs, too. What are you going to do when those other sections start to go through ascension? Because there's several sides to ascension. There's the human, there's the angelic, and then there's the higher 5D stuff that you go through. We're not out of the woods. However, I will say this. We are through the gate. We're through the portal. We're through the portal of energy where you can put closure to this. And that means that old habits must go. That means that old relationship patterns, bad habits especially. It means making a new life and a new lifestyle. And I know this because I've had to do it. In fact, I wrote a book on it. I wrote 6 books on it. So what are some of these old habits? Well, as you can see behind me, how to be at work. How are you at work? Those are some of the simple things, because we are going to a new normal. There is a new normal we're going to go to. And that new normal is not going to include things like child abuse, ignoring social problems, not recycling, overusing resources, not sharing. It's going to include a lot of things, but it's a little bit of a task to get there, because the old structures are pretty much being dismantled. And that too reminds me of one of those scenes in a film. What comes to mind is the Titanic. And you could genuinely say, we've hit an iceberg, okay? It's not what's on the surface, it's what's underneath. And you are leaking and you are like drowning in some of this stuff. The emotions are just very heavy. The fear, the panic, the what are we going to do? What comes next? And I'm here to tell you that just like in the boiler room scene, where you've got the guys that are shoveling coal into the furnaces furiously, they ordered that things go open up all the engines, put them at full speed, and boom, we cannot stop in time. Well, we've been stopped. We've been stopped, and now comes the time we're down there. They're saying, shut them down, shut them all down. Get to a stop. We're not going, nobody will survive unless we can get this thing stopped. That's where we're at. And it doesn't have to be a tragedy. So I'm here to tell you that there is a brand new level which many people can sense, and you can feel like maybe that's a new paradigm. So people call it the new paradigm, the new level, bringing the new earth. You're not bringing the new earth down here. You're ascending up into it. That's why it's called ascension. You are ascending. You're ascending with the person who loves you. Even people that find out about this stuff from all different avenues become aware of the body. And that too goes to bad habits. Do you tend to ignore things from your body? Do you ignore the signals? Do you ignore the sore throats? Do you ignore the slight fevers? Do you know how to tell the difference between ascension symptoms and illness symptoms? Because I do, and I help people with this. Sex, drugs, rock and roll is not the new normal. People would like to think that once we get through this and the lockdowns lift off and, everything's going to go back to normal, which means that, money gets allocated for this and money gets allocated for that. Pay attention to some of the programs, because many of those might seem like there is a, gift or a handout from various governments. These are low interest loans. And you have to be judicious. And I would say to you, if you need it, take it. But if you don't need it and you can get by in another way or limit it, do that. Because all of the systems are burdened. And when the outer systems are burdened, the systems of your body get burdened. This is pertaining to letting people breathe and live. So, for some of us here where I live, we're only a couple weeks into this, even though a lot of people already have cabin fever because of the weather. Some people have been in this longer, but I'm here to talk to you about this. Your twin flame body. Your twin flame body is brand new. What that means is there is an absolutely new structure with several subtle bodies that have never been accessible before. That's why people have stories of like, oh, only these people get to do it and other people don't. Only some twin flames can come together, but it's not for everybody. Guess what? Integrating the body template of new relationships is for everybody. It's why you were invited here. And yes, I am here from a very long ago and faraway place. I am part of the team. The members of my team are many who you even appeal to because I get guidance from them of what to set up, what to prepare for. And when I say that, I don't, like I couldn't go out on a rooftop and say, hey, everybody, this is what's going to happen come, January through March. I did tell people all last year, watch for more mass awakenings in the springtime at the time of the equinox. Little did I know it would be like this. And I realized that there's a reason for that. If you tell people predictions, people do different things with it with their head. You cannot put people in fear. You have to see where do people react. And if people have reactions, they have to be able to work on the reactions because fearful things on this planet do exist, such as a wild animal. You have to be able to react appropriately. But let's use an example of someone's parent walks into the room or comes home and you look and you say, oh gosh, my parent has that facial expression on their face. Oh goodness. Okay. What does the body do with that? Ka-dunk, 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 ka-dunk. What about families where they're pretty much dispersed during the day and now they're all crammed together? Do we still have war mentality, depression mentality? Can we even get along? Can people participate together appropriately? Does one go off here and one goes off there and one goes off there? This is an opportunity to get to know each other again and to appreciate each other. It's an opportunity to teach kids, like empower them with things like food preparation, chores, dishes maybe they haven't had time before. For many people, you're going to feel like that old pot that your grandma had with the little thing at the top that goes tss, tss. Like there's a valve in you that finally lets to get out the pressure. If you're a man, you're going to finally feel like that driving force needs to shift. So what do we do about it? Because it's time to stop the drama, especially nonsense drama, especially the kind of drama that people dream up just to, make life interesting or be provocative, where it doesn't make any sense. Stop the violence and be peaceful. Do you know how to find peace in your heart? Yeah, maybe. Do you know how to find the peace with your own family or with strangers or with the people at work? So I have written about it because the higher self wants to use your light body. Being sick is not normal to your higher self. Being in drama is not normal to your higher self. Violence is not normal to your higher self. War is not normal to your higher self. Okay, so using the connections that you have and not the mind is incumbent on you. So I wrote a book, Twin Flame Relationships. This is about having a relationship or the earthly relationship with your other, unifying, continuing the clearing, and for everything that orbits around you, because you two have to be the center of your universe. You are creating the world unto yourself. You are bringing up your queen's crown, your king's crown, and you are ascending. And so you have to be the one to, take care of your realm. You have to be able to create an abundant life if you have children, not fear, not the fears of, education and things like that. That's already shifting. As you can see, there are going to be solutions. This has forced everybody's hand. So, what I have is a great 30-day workshop, because my book not only has these how-tos, like how to in steps, how to be at work, how to stop the violence, how to stop the drama. I have several, couple of chapters on children, because I'm going to tell you, come the solstice, the focus is going to be on children who will be going through ascension in a much broader scale. The next equinox is also going to be part of the turning point here. So this year, there are things planned that we have planned, okay? Many of the deadlines in the sky of do this by this day, do this by this date, do this by that. Now we're going to close this door, close that portal. It's going to be here. So in my book, Twin Flame Relationships, it's how you relate to things using your body. I'm going to teach you. There is a 30-day journaling exercise, daily journaling in there, where I pose questions, and all you have to do is just answer them with yourself. I'm not going to request the right or wrong answer, because you have to make it about you. So this will help you. This will greatly help you for getting things to the new normal. Who's on board with me? Who is ready to start learning their new body and all of the bells and whistles that your new body has, bypassing the mind and doing it differently, quite literally using the force of love to affect positive transformation in your life. Now, I'm just not saying this. I have applied every single thing that I use in there, and I have turned around the relationships with the two most, I would say, maybe powerful, but sometimes contentious people in my life, my mother and my child. And even more so, now you might say, like, how come your mother is the most powerful woman in the universe? Well, sometimes parents have that effect, and sometimes you don't intend for it to be that way. And sometimes you really just want there to be peace. So transforming the relationship is what I was able to do. Do you have people in your life that you would like to transform how they see you, how you get along with them, and be able to do this with just a little persistence and behind the scenes, and without having to do this every time you go near them and be like, do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. There's a new way. It's easy, and it includes clearing your own body. So we will do clearing. I will instruct you. It uses essences to help you, because your subtle bodies respond to essences. And if you don't believe me, now that the air is clearing, just go out and just smell fragrances. See how much more vividly real it is when you clear and when other things clear, so that you can identify. I'm going to tell you some delightful things about your twin flame body, just so you know that this is not all drudgery. First of all, you go beyond telepathy. You go into full body, heart, emotional communication. You can feel them, they can touch you. They can touch you when you need it the most and you least expect it. You can taste what your twin is eating, even across miles. You will easily resolve the things, the concerns, the worries of your heart because you're making each other's wish come true. By just, you say, I wish I could get along with my mother. And you know what? Up here, that part of your twin says, oh, my love, that's your wish. Let's make it happen. I'm going to help you. And with Patricia's help, it'll get through. Stop the noise. Stop the mental clutter. Stop cluttering your heart with this. Do you know that you can feel the vibration of the food travel through your body, light you up? We're enjoying wheat again. That's something that I've healed. I've healed lactose intolerance, allergies to animals, molds, foods, medicines, molds, I think I said molds, trees, pollen, healed. And I mean healed where I can go around it and it does not mess me up for days on end. I can eat wheat. My father was full-blown celiac. I healed my hypoglycemia. I healed my kidney failure. I healed a partially detached retina. I've recovered from injuries, childhood injuries, spontaneous healing on a dent in my leg that was from a car accident where my leg should have broken, but all of the tissue filled in. Now, this only happens when you cooperate with the connections and with the body and start getting it open. If you're continually putting yourself under, it is not going to happen. There is a new way, and there is a lot of guidance to be able to do this. I am a Blu-ray New Earth guide. So I am equipped to help you with this, and I have worked very diligently to make this easy, doable, and within your means too. So as I was saying, sex, drugs, rock and roll, the extraneous stuff, there's going to be stuff that shows up in people's households. There's going to be people that well, you could look at the divorce rate in China, it's up 30%. Are people going to make new babies? Are they going to break up? Does anyone know what they want to do? What I would say to you is spend a little hermit time with me and learn. Join my 30-day workshop. You will get the book is included. We're going to do an outline. We're going to do each section so that by the end, you will be having transformation. And you'll know how to do things and you'll know how to work some of this in a brand new way. So that when you resume either back at work or your business or you're out in a crowd, you don't have to feel like an empath. That is one of my chapters. Stop being an empath. It's a thing of the past. That's what the chapter is called because we need to put all the pain in the past. So please check the link below. Join. I'm starting here very shortly. All of the information is there. You can post questions to me, write into me at twinflamebody@gmail.com. And I hope to see you there. And stay well, and I will be back with more information. Don't give in to the fear. Let nature be your best friend. If they're letting you walk outside, enjoy the air. Nature always bounces back. It always, does things to, clean up. Time for us to clean up too. Time for you to be in love. So thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.